wins this series goes to the grand finals.
Interesting decision by Twitch chat. I actually think Ascendant has a much better shot than that. I think this is going to be a very, very close series as the gates do open. We'll have to see how these openers play out. Both rogues going to be charging in with Sprint. Normally see the Priest go for a Mass Dispels, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing it just yet. Actually going for a Mind Control onto Chaz. Chaz is going for that MD, nicely denied by Ratapai.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really one-sided Twitch bar. I was caught off guard by that, because even the Tempo Storm series was much, much closer. You guys really fanning onto Method Black, and I mean, I can't blame you. They're the almost undefeated team, 2 losses only this tournament. Waz, of course, one of the big playmakers. We're watching him, as Acro and him are both looking for some sort of openers now that their mages are out. They want to get the perfect crowd control into the healer, and Acro strikes first. Yeah,
there's a kitty shot over on a Chaz. Is Morrow going to be able to find the follow-up crowd control? Doesn't look like everyone is just cheap shot right now. Morrow blinking in, looking for the polymorph kitty shot now onto Ratapai. Raikou doesn't look like he's going to be able to land that Ring of Frost, but Chaz charges in. Can he get the fear? Actually lands the full fear. Nicely done. Acro's getting swapped to. He has to trinket, evasion, Cloak of Shadows, and now Acro's is super vulnerable in this position.
Yeah, I mean, I think they caught them off guard a little bit there. The full polymorph onto Morrow, denying any crowd control into Chaz, so he pushes across the map, gets the fear. Now Acrolos has no defensive cooldowns. He could be a fantastic swap target for the team, as we see Smoke Bomb, though, on the flip side, going over onto Morrow. They're trying to get some pressure over onto the Mage.
Nice barrier, though, coming in from Ratapai to keep him alive. Morrow looking for the full polymorph, lands it over on the Chaz. Now Raikou could be in some trouble, but doesn't look like they have the damage to bring him down. Ratapai able to easily heal through this pressure for now. Smoke Bomb actually going to be dropped there by Akros, but a nice fear coming in from Chaz denies that Smoke Bomb setup. Very nicely done.
That was a beautiful, beautiful fear. Like, obviously no trinket on Akros. They were able to get nothing done. And honestly, Method Black haven't looked in any trouble whatsoever so far in the game. Nothing has been forced. We see Kidney Shot now over onto Ratapai. They get the pain suppression with that one on Morrow, but Raikou taking the brunt of damage. This is a big swap. A big double fear comes in. Waz trinkets. Counterspell to Raikou there. It might not be enough to hold the trinket. Can they get the follow-up polymorph? They don't quite get it. Morrow denied.
Yeah, he actually blinded up Morrow there, so nicely done by Waz, slowing down that damage. Saps up Morrow, and now that they open up on him with the full polymorph secured onto Ratapai. Morrow could be in some trouble. Doesn't have the trinket, activates the temporal shield, trying to run away, but Waz on top of him. Raikou looking for some damage as well. Flurry Ice Lance connects. This could be the first ice block. Big damage going out from Method Black onto Ascendant, but Ratapai gets out of the crowd control, and it looks like the Archangel will be enough to deflect.
Yeah, and neither of these teams want to fall behind. Even Waz using the blind defensively on Tomorrow, because Raikou would have 100% had to use his ice block if he didn't. They could have even traded ice blocks there. It must have been something that went through Morrow's mind, but they're playing it patient, they're playing it solid, and both the healers are quite even on mana as well. So if this isn't a game of cooldowns or mana, it's just a very evenly matched game. We see another great setup coming in from Ascendant there. Ring of Frost and Polymorph. Morrow taking control of the game, but no damage. Actually, ice block forced by Raikou, an early ice block there.
Oh, nice fear coming in from Ratapai as Morrow did get spell locked there. Raikou could still be in some trouble. Getting out, gets deleted, and honestly, Method Black had such good control coming in from that game, but Ascendant at the end, that was such a clean setup, ultimately able to take game number 1.
It was a beautiful play from Morrow that set it up too. We said that he got a little bit caught off guard by the crowd control, but he was able to set that entire thing up with the Ring of Frost, the polymorph, and an excellent kill coming in there from Ascendant.
And this is why
a clean setup. We have to see it once again. I mean, here we just take a look at Ratapai's positioning over here. He wants to stay away from Waz and stay on max range so that Waz cannot stun Ratapai as well as Morrow at the exact same time, making it very easy for Raikou to land that polymorph. So instead, Ratapai is going to stay back, and then here we can see Morrow is casting the sheep here onto Waz, and then he's going to get that Ring of Frost onto Chaz, and this is the most important thing of it all. This counter spell here, you can see interrupted a polymorph, which means that Raikou cannot use his counter spell. So what Morrow ends up doing here is he CS's Raikou, sheeps Waz with the Ring of Frost, and then it's just such a clean setup. Honestly, Morrow played this part of the game so well. Full Ring of Frost, and then here Ebon Bolt while Raikou is CS, and he cannot blink it, reducing the damage of it. So instead, he is going to ice block that damage. Ratapai gets the Mass Dispel. Waz gets sapped by Acro into that cheap shot, into a fear onto Chaz, into that Frostbolt, giving Morrow that lucky flurry proc as well, giving him enough damage to take.
And now they're going to be in this mirror, and then all of a sudden Ascendant was this team over the last few seasons that has just been known as the most aggressive rogue mage in the entire world. Now these two completely different teams with different styles playing the same compositions go head to head. Ascendant going to be leading by 1 in our series with an overall record of 10-11 against Method Black. Will they be able to take this whole series and get their spot in the grand final?
There was just so much control coming in from both of the teams. We saw defensive blinds, ice blocks not being forced out for minutes, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But Acro actually landing a sap over on the Waz. Are they going to open up on him? It's going to be interesting to see, but that's definitely a nice little advantage for Ascendant.
Yeah, Waz actually got a little taste of Acro. Saw him for a second, chased after him, and then he wasn't sure where he went, but Acro got the advantage of that one. Looks like he's just going to wait until the Mage opens up. He gets the triple crowd control, something very important, but a good counterspell coming out on Tomorrow, followed up by the step kick from Waz, is enough to deny the follow-up crowd control.
Yeah, kidney shot over on a Ratify, followed up by a full polymorph. Now Morrow could be the one in trouble with a nice temporal shield, though. Might be able to keep himself alive. Full blind on the Chaz. He trinkets out, so they get that out of the way. Morrow still keeping himself alive. Beautiful kiting coming in. Look at Acro with the spam cheap shot. Morrow gets away. Ratify have been in so much CC right now, but beautiful defensive play coming in from Ascendant is ultimately going to save Morrow's ice block.
Yep, they got Chaz's trinket in the midst of that as well. They used the blind for it. Of course, blind, a reasonable trade. Method Black haven't used theirs just yet to force it. We see a kidney shot onto Acro, another one of these little swaps we saw Method Black trying in the last series, but just life gripped away from Ratify, doing a great job of keeping his team stable at this moment in time. He actually deaths the blind. Premonition on the blind there coming out from Ratify. Huge play to keep his team ahead.
Yeah, Ratify is insane. Raikou getting spell off there. There's the full kidney shot over on a Chaz. Ring of Frost coming in from Morrow, but Waz ultimately is going to slow that down. Ratify there for the full fear, though. Paint suppression, I believe, went out onto Raikou, so Chaz, nice little preemptive play there, will keep Raikou alive. But a nice swap over onto Acro. Cheap shot spam coming in from Waz. Is he going to be able to survive? He ultimately vanishes out, but that cost Ratify his paint suppression.
It cost him his paint suppression, cost him his trinket. I mean, it basically nullified the great play, the great outplay coming out of Ratify earlier in the game, so now that trinket will be matching up quite well with the blind. That's why he, of course, was more than happy to do it. But trading out that pain suppression and the vanish from Acro Laws, they're trying to have to get some counter pressure here. Raikou playing defensively. Can they get the crowd onto Chaz? You see double fair coming in from Ratify. He wants to get aggressive. They force the ice block, but a good step kick coming in from Waz, denying the master spell. Raikou comes out anyways. We see a full sheep onto Chaz here.
Yeah, Chaz going into the full polymorph. Raikou's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Temporal Shield's going to be used. Acro's reconnect. Doesn't look like there's any follow-ups you see on Chaz. Actually, there is. DR polymorph. Raikou's still in a lot of trouble. Penance connects from Ratify, putting out some nice priest burst, but Chaz out of that crowd control with the Rapture will easily keep Raikou alive and stabilize his HP. Raikou still has one ice block left. Morrow still has both ice blocks left. Acros has his trinket. Honestly, defensively, Ascendant's looking really good.
Yeah, I was a little scared for Raikou there. They kicked the master spell, but then he came out anyways. Seems like he's okay though. Still one ice block down as we see another beautiful setup. So much damage. The fear following up from Ratify forces the trinket before the blind, but they actually commit the DR blind. They're going for this second ice block here. If they get this, it's going to be completely worth it, but they're not quite going to, which means maybe it could have been better to save that blind for the next diminishing return. Now we see crowd control over onto Ratify as they're trying to convert the pressure.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit greedy by Acro going for that play. Raikou is going to be fine, but Morrow taking a big bunch of damage. Chaz not going to be able to get that mass dispel out from a nice kidney shot coming in from Acro to slow that down. Waz looking for a re-stealth, it looks like, but Morrow gets out of the ice block, locks out Raikou. Frost Nova's Waz, good control coming in from Morrow. Raikou's going to preemptively use that temporal shield as he was locked out, but now he's not going to have that available as Chaz goes into the fear. Cheap shot onto Raikou, but a nice barrier drop by Chaz. Just doing such a good job in this game, preemptively predicting this damage. There's a kidney shot over on the Ratify into the full polymorph. Morrow now having to kite away once again as Waz looking to reconnect, but Morrow, he's just going to ice block that Ebon Bolt coming in from Raikou. Doesn't want to get taken down without using it.
Yeah, suddenly the game's turned completely on its head. Method Black are the ones taking the lead. They force both the ice blocks. We see good Ring of Frost coming in there from Chaz. He's trying to, onto Chaz, trying to get some pressure onto Raikou. It's just Acrylos for now. They force the second ice block as well. So now this game is really on the knife's edge as we see the full fear onto Chaz. Neither of these mages have an ice block, that immunity to any damage. The next crowd control could well win the game, but Ratify has the advantage of his trinket.
Yeah, there's a barrier. Ratify actually goes into full blind. He trinkets out, so if Raikou can land a full polymorph, Ratify's going to be in big trouble. Morrow getting lower. Ratify needs to spam with the heals. Actually, life grips Morrow out of line of sight. Nice cheap shot spam coming in from Acro, trying to just peel up Waz and Raikou, but their offensive push is going to be delayed because of that defensive play. Waz now looking to reconnect on Morrow, going for the re-stealth. Manages to land it. Cheap shot on Morrow. Polymorph on Ratify. Morrow needs to keep himself alive. No temporal shield available. Trying to kite away. Can Acro help him? Another polymorph on Ratify. Nice fear coming in from Chaz and Morrow. There's no way you're going to be squeaking out of this one.
What a game.
Managed to tie up the series 1-1.
All tied up, and yeah, the incredible thing about watching two teams like this play this mirror matchup is you just know at any
Tap onto Waz. Ascendant really couldn't capitalize, and ultimately Method Black took that victory. We'll have to see if either one of these rogues can find a prime opener. Let's see how they open up. Both rogues are going to be using their sprint, moving into position. They actually cross each other. Ratipai going for the clarity of wills here, just to, you know, empower some of those shields on Amaro. Full sap going out on Amaro. Raikou still in his invis, so this is a better opener for Method Black.
Yeah, it's definitely good when you get the sap onto the Mage, probably as he's building up that invisibility. Takes a couple of seconds to track. Now we see full fail onto Ratipai as they do get the opener. Maro uses his human racial, blinks away, trying to get that follow-up polymorph. Doesn't get it though, as Ratipai does get sheep, so excellent start from Method Black. Can they force the ice block?
Yeah, Maro had a nice temporal shield though, healing himself to full, but still, the ice block does get forced out. There's the Master Spell as well. This is horrible for Ascendant. They need to somehow turn this around. Ratipai charging in, looking for the fear onto Chaz. Lands it. Can Maro get the follow-up polymorph? Actually, a nice blink CS coming in from Raikou. Denies that. Method Black is on fire early on.
Yeah, Raikou's been all over Maro so far in this game. We see another polymorph attempt here coming out. The poly onto Waz. They get the triple CC. This is what we saw in game 1 that won them the game. They get the Ring of Frost and the polymorph. Can they follow it up though? Raikou in trouble. Doesn't use the ice block just yet. Able to kite away. Pain suppression, of course, coming out onto him from Chaz, mitigating some of that incoming damage, but he still has to use the ice block. Quick Master Spell or quick break coming out, but there's no more follow-up crowd control, so Raikou should be fine.
Yeah, Maro actually had a really sick play there. He moved into his Ring of Frost, so Waz could not stop the follow-up polymorph, stop him at all. Now Ratipai into the full Ring of Frost. Maro already out of line of sight. We see him play defensive at times when he knows his healer's going to be CC'd for a long time. He uses the temporal shield, trying to blink back over. Evan Bolt connects from Raikou. Maro is going to be ice blocking. I feel like that ice block was maybe a little bit too preemptive. Really respecting that Evan Bolt coming in from Raikou, as Ratipai was out of crowd control, but maybe just didn't want to have him fall behind. Now both teams are sort of stabilized at this point. Cheap shot onto Raikou, fear onto Chaz. Nicely done by Ratipai. Raikou gets that temporal shield, Massive Spell. Do they have any follow-up damage? Waz just cheap shot and kidney shot on Ratipai, onto the entire enemy team, slowing down that setup completely, keeping Raikou alive. But it looks like Akros is going to be able to find the damage. Raikou, though, manages to survive. That was very nicely done by Method Black.
Yeah, Maro, I think, had an entire 6 seconds to try fake the kick and land the polymorph, but on the third cast, Waz instantly kicked him. Waz just completely all over that. So annoying to play against a rogue of this caliber. Now, Maro still trying to get that polymorph. He's really struggling, though, as Agrolos gets swapped to in the smoke bomb. Big play coming out of Waz, noticing no trinket there, and they take the series up 2-1. And honestly, a super high-class game for Method Black.
Method Black impresses me so much. I mean,
in this rogue mage environment, keep in mind what Zico said as we enter this game, because if Method Black finds an opener like they did last time, they may be able to just run away with the series here and get their spot in the grand final.
Yeah, and just watching those replays, you see Waz with the, like, he's baiting the kick. He goes, like, he vanishes late, step kicks the polymorph. You see beautiful pre-polymorph on the trinket coming out of Raikou. These guys are just so good at World of Warcraft, and they're so good in these mirrors, even though they're not running this comp as their main these days, Van.
Ooh, Waz on top of Akros. Maybe looking for the sap here? Or he lands the sap. Let's see how Method Black capitalizes on this. Looks like they're just going to be opening up right away with kidney shot over on the Ratipai. Maro still the target of choice. Temporal shield going to be used immediately, but it gets dispelled. Very nicely done by Method Black. Ratipai actually trinkets out, lands the full fear onto Chaz. Can Ascendant sort of capitalize on? Doesn't look like they're going to be able to for now. Raikou actually using his icy veins there, wanting to get aggressive, but Maro seems to be completely fine.
Ooh, and he took a fair chunk of damage in the back end of that exchange. Chaz, though, with the pain suppression to mitigate a lot of that. Still, a lot of cooldowns forced there. Rapture, pain suppression, Archangel, a lot of those big healing modifiers for the Discipline Priest on Method Black. We'll have to see who comes next to the crowd control. Waz pushes in, gets it, but a good step kick coming in from Acrolos. They're still kicking for that Ring of Frost. They're not able to land that either, but a fear into it. Acrolos now caught up in trouble. He gets stunned on his trinket. Ratipai has to trinket to save him, and that's huge.
That's so interesting. Raikou was literally just spamming Frostbolts on Maro when Waz made that swap onto Acro and forced his trinket. There's a full fear onto Chaz. Raikou getting bursted down, though. There's the ice block. Master Spell comes in. This is where they can turn around the game, but it's no more CC onto Chaz. Easily tops off Raikou, looking for the clarity of wills. Full polymorph coming in, though, from Maro. Excellently done. Full blind onto Ratipai. Both mages going to be in trouble here, but Raikou's the one with no ice block. Blinks out of the smoke bomb. Big swap over onto Acro one more time. But Raikou getting bursted down huge. Another smoke bomb gets dropped out. Acro getting low. Ratipai into the sap. Acro needs to keep himself alive. Only evasion is keeping him up right now. Cheap shot spam over onto Waz. Raikou looking for the frostbolt damage. Ratipai still in CC. Cheap shot coming in from Waz into the kidney shot. Acro trying to keep himself alive, but the CC never ends. Waz did such a good job controlling Ratipai.
And in the midst of that, Chaz actually premonitioned another blind, or it broke. I'm pretty sure he premonitioned it so that he could land that double fear to secure the game. Class.
The Chaz and Ratipai head-to-head is just so